In this video, we're going to look at free tools, free applications that you're able to use to create an instructional portal. An instructional portal is great because you're able to put all your information up there and you can pretty much give it to anyone around the world at any time and they can have access to it. And there's so many tools that you're able to use and you don't have to worry about having to pay any money. You just have to have the idea there to be able to put this forward. Now, right now, what you're looking at is an instructional portal that I created to really just teach someone how to get started with VBS. And VBS is a coding language that you're able to use inside of Windows applications. So here you see I have a main window up here, main menu up here, where you got the home and you have section 1, section 2. I broke it down into sections. It's pretty easily readable. I have the feedback here, and you can also search this page. Over here I have the main page title, and then I have the instruction all laid out, whether it be the introduction, the steps, and then the starting of the lesson. When you click that, you go to this next page. I'm going to show you exactly how to do all of this. It's 100% free, like I said. If you had opened my instructional portal up on the phone, you'll have these areas down here where you can see how it would look on the phone, or on a tablet, or on the computer. So all of this is built into the free product that's given to us through Google Sites. If you haven't dealt with Google Sites before, this is one of the tools that we're able to use to be able to achieve all of this. So let me give you the tour on how to recreate this. So there's a couple of things we're going to need. We're going to need our website, and I'm going to show you how to create that. Then we're going to need the instruction itself, the video itself. So if I were to play this, turn this down. So you'll see how this instruction is, and the zooming and all that other stuff, how you can get close to your product, whatever you're talking about, and the tools used to do this video here. So I'm going to show you guys a few free tools and one that's not free, but it's all still worth it. And then we can put that on YouTube, and then we can have our instructional portal. So an instructional portal consists of two things. One, the website itself, and two, the video content that actually goes with it. So our website will be developed using Google Sites. And the way we get to Google Sites is first you got to log into Google. Go ahead and get a free Google account. Again, it's free. So you get that free Google account and you log into Google. Once you log into Google using Chrome, make sure you're using Chrome. It's better to use Chrome. And then you go here to this little app thing here. It's like 9 boxes. You click on that, and then down here you should see a Google site or a sites icon. If you don't see that, all you need to do is click on more. And if you don't see it there, click on even more from Google. It's going to bring you to this our product site. All you need to do is scroll down. You'll see some products here that they sell, but you're not really interested in that right now. You'll keep scrolling all the way down, and then you'll see all of the different, I'm gonna keep scrolling down right here, all of the different applications that you get to use for Google for free. Again, most of the tools that we need are already here. For instance, we have, where's our Google Sites? We have our Google Sites here. If we needed to show a spreadsheet, we got that here. If we need to show a slide, we have all that here. I can present this slide to anyone, give them a link to anyone. We have our YouTube here. We have our, YouTube here, YouTube TV here, but basically we'll be using YouTube over here. As a matter of fact, you have Hangout here where you can do a conference with someone, a direct conference with the client. So I can put a Hangout link onto my Google, on my portal, so that I can actually talk to the people who are visiting my portal if they needed that sort of direct, direct help. The other thing that you have here, we have this Google Voice. Google Voice is a free phone number you're able to use instead of your own phone number. There's so much here where if you put it all together, if you look at it separately, it's kind of vague, but when you put it all together, it's the perfect opportunity to create a web portal that'll give us everything we need to actually run an entire company, actually almost, for free. So let's get started creating the web page. So really, all I need to do is once I click on sites here, or I click on sites here, what'll happen is it'll open up into this Google Sites portal here. Now here's the one that I actually showed you just a minute ago. Here's another site that I have. So all of your sites will be presented here. This is the classic sites. You don't want to deal with that. It's a mess. And I would never show you how to use this one. It is not worth using. You want to use the new sites. And I think if you haven't used it before and you signed up, you're going to be using the new one anyway. When I want to create a new site, all I need to do is go to this little plus here. Once I hit that plus, it's going to open up the interface. And look at this. It is what you see is what you get. Basically, here's my title. And it doesn't give you a whole bunch of options, but options enough that allows you to create a portal. So I can go ahead and change this to my title. And there it is. There's my title. I can go here and change my site name. So I'm going to say my title site. Then I can change the logo. So I'm going to go right here. Every time I put my mouse over something, it'll give me an idea of what it can do. So I can select one from images that I have. I can search for an image. Let's say if I say mountains. And I can select an image. As soon as I select this image, I can go select, and it's going to add that. It's going to add that as my logo in a way. So every time you see my site, you'll have this logo. But I can also change this background here. Everything you need to edit, you'd want to select first. A little menu will pop up. So let's say if I said change menu, I can upload one, select one, just as I did before. And let's say I use this one, or if I wanted to search, let's say if I use, I'll use this one here. And I hit select there. So I have my background, I have my title, I have my main page. I can even edit this so it's more readable. So if this was a weird color, you could click on this and the artificial intelligence system will say, okay, how do we need to change this picture so that way this word is more readable? And that happens automatically. So it decided that it's already at its maximum readability. And so I don't have to worry about anything there. If I didn't really like any of this and I wanted to reset all of the settings that I have on this part right here, I can just go ahead and click on reset this heading and it'll go right back to its original default. Now, let's say if this is what I liked and this is my site and I wanted to check it out. Basically, all I need to do is go up here to this eye and hit it, and it'll give me a preview of exactly how it looks when the viewers go see it. When I'm done with this preview, basically, all I need to do is click on that X down there, and it'll bring me right back to my edit mode. The way I can tell I'm in edit mode is, number one, it says publish here, and on the right it has this menu over here. Now this menu is going to give you access to be able to add things to the site. However, if I were to take this right here and I try to drag, that's not how this works. The only ones that work that way are these components here. So when you're up here and you want to insert any of these, you have to have a component already. And I would say you would have to have a container. So I'm going to go ahead and add a container. I like this one right here with the image on the side. So by clicking it by itself, it automatically stacks the containers. Or I can click and drag a container wherever I want it. So once I have the container, everything else is pretty much exactly the same. I have my image here, I have my title here, and I have my information here. Now, once you have a panel here, on the left-hand side, you can change the look of that panel. You get a few options, but you can also change the color the background by selecting an image the same way we did before. It'll completely change the background to what I have selected. So now we understand how to edit things in here just by clicking it and typing in there. We understand how to add the layout. So I can keep on stacking this. A very cool way I can do this. Let's say I don't want this panel here. I want to get rid of that. I'm going to show you a cool way we can do things. So let's say I set this one up. Lesson 1, and I put some information in here. There's my lesson plan right there, and I put my image here. So I'm gonna select an image. I can put a YouTube video. Let's say if I select an image, I can put an image there, and I can make this an image link. So let me choose mountain again. I'm going to select this one, go down here. Now I got that image there. Now, once I have an image here and I have all the stuff that I need, basically all I need to do is duplicate this by hitting this duplicate button on the left-hand side. Now, all I need to do is change this. I can keep some of this stuff and then just change a few of these. And I'll keep on doing that. But let's say after I'm done, I don't like this order. Maybe I wanted this one on top and this one on the bottom. So over here, you have these little handles. If I just drag those handles around, I can shift everything around to wherever I want it. I can also delete it here, and I can also change the background. So we've learned a lot here. We can change the information, we can add these stack panels here, and we can change the images. So let's look at how we can navigate from one page to the next. What you will notice is that on mine, I have these menus up here because these are different pages. Over here, I only have one page. And right now, I don't have any buttons. Like down here, I have these buttons. So let's look at how we can recreate this part really quick before we create another page. So let's say I wanted to create a button like I have over here. There's a couple of things you need to understand about buttons. Number one, you can't drag them into the area. And number two, they have to have a container. So if I were to click on this image container and I would select an image, let me select that and hit insert. You'll notice what happened is that it did add the image, but it also put it in its own container. Whenever you add any of these, if you don't have something where you're dropping it into, it'll put it into its own container. So if I remove that image from the container, then the container itself disappears. So in order for me to add a button, I need a container. So instead of doing all of these, putting these here, I'm just going to go ahead and add a text box container. And after I add that text box container, I'm just going to click on this edge over here. Then I can click on a button. Now here's the other thing about a button. You can't create a button unless you have a link that it leads to. So if I create this button, and I say next lesson, it won't let me insert that button unless I have something here to link it to. Now, when I create another page, it will give me access to those other pages, but we don't have another page and we're trying to create a button. So we'll give it a false link. And then we'll click insert. And look what happened. That's an invalid link. Number one, a link doesn't have these spaces. And now I can go ahead and add the link because when I do it with spaces, it believes that that's just a sentence. That's not a link. But it doesn't check to see if the link actually exists. It just checks to see if it's the right, if it's the right syntax, if it's the right structure. It doesn't even have to have a .com because it just has to be a name. And so I have to go ahead and hit insert here. And now I have my button, even though that button really doesn't go anywhere. Once I have this button, I can drag this button on this grid. There's a grid that goes up and down. As I drag it through, the grid will show itself, and I can center that up. I can select the button once and resize it. I can also go here and edit anything that I didn't about the button. And if you'll notice here, this link, when I added that word, it automatically added this HTTP as if, because it believes that that is going somewhere. For instance, if I were to do something like this, google.com, and I were to update that, when I test out my website, so I'm going to go here to preview. Here's my website. I'm going to go down, and if I hit next, it's going to open up google.com. So we could go to external sites, but what we are intending to do is actually use it for the sites that we have here. So I'm done previewing this. I'm going to hit this exit preview and go back here. And so what I want to do is create another page. Once you're able to make your main page and create other pages, you pretty much have everything you need to be able to create your web portal as far as the website goes. So what I need to do is go over here to the pages. So I have inserts. These are everything I can insert. Calendars, dividers, maps, docs. And then I'm going to go here to pages. And as you can see, I only have the home page. So I can do a couple of things. I can create a page from scratch by clicking on this plus button. Or I can select this home page and I can duplicate the page. So let's say if I were to go duplicate this page and I'm going to give it the name lesson A and then click done. Now what you will see is that I will have another page that looks exactly like this page. So it sends me to this lesson A, right? So right now it shows, now I have two items in my menu. If I were to go here And I did not want this to add to the menu. I can add it to a submenu, or I can hide it from the menu. So if I had a page where I didn't want it to be in the menu, all I need to do is go here to hide it from the menu. If I didn't want the page at all, I just go here and delete it. But we do want this page. Now let me make sure we know that this is lesson A. And all the edits still apply. Everything we talked about before still applies. So I'm going to make this one go to the home page by clicking on this edit button. Clicking in here. Now watch what happens when I click in here now. I'm going to release all of this. And now look, it gives me access to the home page. Any page that this page is not, it'll show here. And now I update that. Now I want to go back to the home page. So I'm going to go here to my navigation, my page navigation. I'm going to go to home. And then I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to edit that. And I'm going to remove this google.com, and then I'm going to click on page A. I'm going to update that. So basically now I pretty much have a navigating website. I have my home page here, and I have my lessons page, and you can continuously add on to that. We know how to preview it, so I'm going to go ahead and preview this. And so I can preview it if I have my videos here. I can read about it, and then I can go here to next. It'll send me to the lesson, and I can go back home. And I probably should change that to home. So let's just change that to home, and then you have the full course of actions you need to take in order to create the web portion of your lesson plan portal. So here I'm going to go ahead and change this. I'm going to select it once. I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to put this home. So this is 100% clear. You know what you're doing here, right? So you know you're going to this lesson. And I can even click on the image to the left if I wanted that. So let's say if I wanted this image to actually go someplace. I didn't want a YouTube video here. I select the image. I go here to link. And then I can make this image go anywhere. So let's say w.com. And I apply that. Now when I preview and I click on this, that's exactly where it goes. So whether it's a video, if you don't want videos up here, you can put a link that leads to a video. Either way, it still works. Either way, you have your portal. And either way is accessible and easy to change. The other thing you need to understand or be aware of is that you also have undos here. That's at the top. So you can undo the last action. You can redo an action. And you can actually copy the link to this website. But you can only copy this link once you publish it. When you hit publish, then you take that link and you can give that link to anyone who wants to access your web portal. The other thing you can do is you can share this with others. So if you're working as a team, a lot of people can work on different parts of it. Maybe somebody might work on page A, B, or C, or whatever, and you're working on the home page. So you can work as a team, and you can add as a team, and it's easy to use. And remember, we didn't use 1 ounce of HTML, but it's doing all the work for us, and it's free. So in the next lesson, in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how to make the videos themselves and what technologies we use to make the videos. I'll see you guys then.